Children in Britain are being taught how to treat knife wounds in classes at school. If you needed any more proof that Britain is experiencing a serious knife crime epidemic, then just look at this. Children are now being taught in school how to treat knife wounds. And I'm not joking, by the way. These are innocent young kids who should be learning about mathematics, history, how the world works, all that kind of stuff, language, the English language. But no, they're being taught how to treat somebody who's been stabbed by someone, presumably in the street, because that's what's happening these days. The Mail Online reports, children are being taught first aid and how to speak to emergency services following a stabbing in lessons arranged by charity street doctors. In sessions lasting up to an hour and a half, the pupils use visual props to explain the signs behind blood loss and how to apply pressure to a wound, the charity says. Youngsters also take part in role-play scenarios to prepare for a crisis amid an ongoing political battle over the causes of rising violent crime. I remember once a year when I was in school, we had this guy who would come to our school and he'd show us pictures of like underwater life, fishes and marine biology and all that. And he'd come with his slideshow and his projector and the images would flick on the screen and we loved it. We'd listen to him talking about the science and the sea and learning something and enjoying it and buying some photos from him at the end that we all put on our bedroom walls. And there was also this really cool pastor that used to come to the school and we loved him and we'd learn about our cultural and religious history and all that kind of stuff. These were exciting, educational and important experiences for us as kids, and that's what I wish the kids of today were experiencing and the kind of experience that they had at school. But the sad truth is they're being taught not to stab each other and how to deal with it when a friend of theirs or themselves are in fact stabbed in the street. I mean, this has been organised by a charity, so don't get me wrong, I am not attacking the charity here. But I mean, God bless these people for trying, but why are we in a situation where this is even happening? Why are we here? I mean, this is a combination of social and cultural tensions, which I've talked about many times before on this show, largely, I think, caused by self-segregation in our inner cities. It's also majorly a drug issue. Now, Met Police Chief Cressida Dick has taken a lot of flack over this issue because she pointed out that middle-class drug users are actually to blame, but honestly, I think she's right about this because London's middle class do have a lot to answer for with this issue. London's middle class who buy drugs and think they're not contributing to the problem are the people who are paying for these problems to exist in the first place and the very reason why children are being taught not to stab each other and how to deal with each other when we are stabbed in their own schools. British children are being taught not to stab each other and how to deal with people medically who have been stabbed at special classes in schools. It's pretty obvious at this point that kids are losing their innocence and learning how to survive in a brutal world of gang violence, and it really knocks me sick. But if this problem's going to be solved, if children are going to be once again learning about history and science and, you know, normal things at school, we have to face some difficult truths. Now, while we accept that this is a drug and a gang problem that obviously requires better policing and the solving of some cultural problems, I think it's time that middle-class drug users in London own up to their own role in this problem. Middle-class cocaine users in London who complain about how London's changing and how their kids are no longer safe on the streets are in many cases the same people who are actually funding this problem to begin with. If middle-class Bartholomew Taylor, who owns a £5 million house in Kensington, is buying cocaine while simultaneously he's complaining about violence in London, then I think he needs a bloody go kick up the arse, because if you buy drugs, you have no right to complain about the problems in London because you're funding it. And I think it's time that we discuss that fact and the fact that the lives of British children are being seriously damaged by a problem that is caused by a multitude of complex factors. And the reason children are being taught in schools how not to stab each other and how to deal with people who have been stabbed is partly because people in London are buying drugs and not realising they're contributing to the problem. If you like that and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to click that little bell button to make sure you never miss another video ever again.